On tonight's edition of The Overtime, the Flagstaff and Coconino baseball teams are off to a rough start to the season. The softball teams are also struggling early in the season. What can they do to improve? NAU's indoor track and field team has a representative at Nationals. We will have the details. And finally, the Lady Jack soccer team begins their spring season tonight. All that and more next up on The Overtime. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Matt Stern. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action. And joining me in the studio is sports reporter Corderro McMurray. Corderro, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. We have a lot of fun-packed spring sports.
Let's get right into it. Let's begin on the baseball diamond. The struggles continue for Flagstaff and Coconino. Corderro, why has the Panthers and the Eagles been struggling this season?
Well, Coco baseball has a 7-game losing streak. They've lost all 6 of their road games this season and with their lone win at home. With the next 4 games at home, the team is looking to pick up a couple more wins and try to turn this season around. To do this, they're going to need senior Braden Wong, who is hitting a whopping .667 on the season, to lead their offense. There's still time for the Panthers to pick it up this season, and with their next 4 games at home, this is a great opportunity for them to put together a solid win streak with home field advantage.
Yeah, at any level, pitching is key, and it is how you win games. Well, right now, Flagstaff is not pitching well enough. The Eagles have a team ERA of 5.8 with 108 runs allowed through 15 games. Now, with a 6-9 record, however, they can still salvage their season if they can find a way to pitch better. This pitching staff is being held afloat by senior Matt Harbottle, who has a skinny ERA of 1.3 with a 2-run record, including 2 complete games. Now, they have a bona fide ace, but someone else on that pitching staff needs to step up behind him to give them a solid 1-2 punch in the rotation. Now, staying on the diamond, the Flagstaff and Coconino softball teams aren't doing much better than the baseball teams. What is the key to either of these teams turning their season around, Corderro?
Well, after coming off a solid home win against Ironwood, the Coconino softball team is looking to use this win to get the season back on track for their next game, which is away against Notre Dame Prep. One thing the Panthers are trying to overcome is their young youth of the pitching staff. Having 2 freshman starting pitchers, Caitlin Snowpick and Catherine So, they're looking to give them some experience on the mound behind their ace, junior Rachel Tosi, who is having another pretty solid season. Now, offensively, they have room to improve and could use some more performances like that of senior Ariel Martinez, who has a batting average of .419 and 2 home runs. If they can combine solid pitching with a consistent offense, the Panthers should be able to turn this season around.
Now, Flagstaff, on the other hand, has lost 4 in a row and have a record of 2-8 on the year. They have been in many close games this season, and the reason behind the struggles of the Lady Eagles have been their inconsistencies both offensively and on the hill. In some games, they will put together a great pitching performance, but their offense could not muster up enough run support for the win. And in other games, when they have had a great offensive outbreak, their pitching can't hold the lead and eventually giving up too many runs. Now, if they can find a way to put it all together, I think they can put together a solid winning streak going forward. Now, moving over to NAU, after his historic performance in the Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Championships, Futsum Zena Selassie took his talents to the national stage, being the only athlete to represent NAU at nationals with an All-American performance. Corderro, how can Zena Selassie and NAU build on the performance at nationals going into the outdoor season?
For Zena Selassie, I expect for him to continue to bring that grit and determination going into the outdoor season. The NAU men's and women's team both placed 3rd at the Irvine, California Spring Break Invitational, where they had 9 runners place 1st in their events. Top performer for the women's side was freshman Jasmine Malone, who placed 1st in the 400 meters with a time of 55.68 seconds, qualifying her for a bid in the conference meet. Head coach Kenny McDaniel also believes that some of the main reasons why they were able to perform at such a high level was because there was not a lot of pressure, and that they were coming off a nice spring break and they did not have classes to worry about. With this outstanding performance and relaxing break for the track and field team, they should be able to bring home that 10th straight conference title.
Now moving back to Footsum Zenna-Selassie, he capped off a great indoor season with an appearance at Nationals. This is the first time Zenna-Selassie competed at indoor nationals and was the only athlete to represent NAU. He had an All-American performance, finishing in 4th place in the 5,000 meter race with a time of 13 minutes and 52 seconds. His time of 13:52 ranks 5th best in conference history at indoor nationals. I expect him to make the outdoor nationals for the 2nd straight year, and I believe this team will win their 5th straight conference title, making it 10 straight combined between indoor and outdoor. Now, the Lady Lumberjacks soccer team begins their spring season tonight against Embry-Riddle. Corderro, what do you expect from the Lady Jacks this season?
The NAU women's soccer team is itching to get back out on the soccer field. After having 4 months off from the regular season, the Lady Lumberjacks are looking to dominate their 6-game schedule with their first game against Embry-Riddle tonight. Now look out for some of the returning Lady Jacks to lead this team, including sophomore forward Adrian Nix, junior forward Lindsay Doyle, and junior defender Danny Munez. The ladies had a tough season in the fall, finishing 9-8-2. With a lot of young players in the fall, this team is going to need to lean on their returners for these spring games and get a great opportunity for them to step up and show what they are capable of.
Now, Corderro, I think the idea of the spring season is to improve on their skills and gain some experience going into next year's fall season. Now, because of that, I expect to see a lot of freshmen get a lot of playing time over the spring so they can gain as much experience as possible going into the fall. Now, like you said, Corderro, they did have a 9-8-2 record, which is an average season. They are looking to get much better for next year. And as for they host one home game during the spring season, which you can go check it out, April 2nd against Dixie State. Now, coming up after the break, our sports reporter Cheyenne Mumfries hung out with our NAU football team for the start of spring practice. Stay tuned.